Hello, everyone. Welcome back to E20 Zone TV. To my right is Jay. You know who he is. And we're here to discuss pleading poverty at West Ham United. Jay, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I've had a lovely long weekend on the golf course,
Mm.
and I didn't disgrace myself, which was fun. But I did have the pleasure of teeing off on the finishing the eighth hole, and West Ham had just taken the lead, and finishing the ninth hole, and we had lost the game. So that was fun. So yeah, very strange, mate. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. The weather is beautiful. The sun is shining. And only another 28 days to go till this season ends. Do you know what I'm saying? It's been one of these weeks where content's been a bit flat. I done a video the other night, a late night video, which was quite epic, I must admit. But it's just we're in a bit of a moment, aren't we, at the minute, where it's just a bit shit and we just can't seem to get out of it. Obviously, let's start off with the Brighton game. You didn't see it, so to speak. You was enjoying your life. What
Yeah.
did you make of the aftermath of it, though?
Do you know what? It's weird, and I can't speak too much on it because, like James, and like to be honest, this ain't like me. I ain't seen a fucking kick from the game.
Mm.
I haven't seen a thing. And normally, if I miss a game, either I'm not at a home game, or if I'm just not at a game, home or away, I hate it. And like all I'm doing is I'm either watching the game at home or I'm on my phone and no one talks to me because like I'm desperately trying to follow what's going on. But mate, it was so peaceful. I was in the Northwest. It was sunny. I was with my mates. I was in a field. I was playing golf. I was playing well, and I had no worries in the world. And we went 2-1 up, and I had this moment where I was excited. And like I say, like I'm on the fairway the next hole, and my watch buzzes, and we've conceded, and I'm about to tap in, and we've lost the game. And I was just baffled. I genuinely was baffled. I tell you what, the only thing I've seen, I saw like a fan angle of the third goal, which was an absolute banger. But
Yeah.
again, I've seen none of the build up. I don't know anything that happened, and this is the bit that gets me. I don't really care. I just don't care. Normally, I'd be like, right, I'll go back and watch the full 90 minutes. I want to see what happened. I want to see where it went wrong. But like, I can already kind of tell we probably like started slow. We probably grew into it. Then we probably came out quickly. Hence, we scored early. And then I imagine we dominated for a bit. Then we sat back, probably caught them on the break for the second, and then we
Uh,
just fall apart. That's my guess as to
yeah.
how it went. But you tell me, mate.
Right. First off, they score a banger out of complete nowhere. Yeah, first 10 minutes was good. I've got to be honest, West Ham was all right.
Fair enough.
And the goal shook us a little bit, yeah, because obviously once we go 1-0 down, we all know it, we don't win the game. We hit the crossbar in the first half, which like from Souček, and Souček was a bit of a difference on the day, but I'll get to him in a little while. And I just thought, you know what, we was in the game, but we weren't great. We weren't great in the first half, yeah. And obviously they scored a banger, 1-0 is what it is. Second half, he makes a change. Nicholas Fulkrug comes on because he didn't start. Next thing you know, we're a completely different side. And this Jackal and Hyde of West Ham is what I've been saying for a long time. Like I'm starting to see it quite a lot. We're a second half side, and we come out second half and we scored. Like the goal was a bit scrappy, but it's a goal. And like, do you know what I mean? You take anything that you take of it. And then sort of the game was filtering in and out. They weren't really doing a lot. We was trying going forward, counter attacking mainly. And then we scored a great goal, great cross from Bowen. And Souček does what he does, what he's been doing for years, late into the box, header, goal, 2-1. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, yeah, right, maybe this is a start of something. And then for 180 seconds, from the goal going in to us going 3-2 down, I've never felt more angry in my life. And I've seen West Ham get done by Spurs in the last minute and just get done by teams in the last minute. And their second goal is shit defending. They're all statues. Yeah. And the third one is a banger from outside the box, but no one's pressing. And you know what? It was just, I see the anger in the fans at the end because obviously the camera panned round to the fans. And obviously the Brighton fans were giving it to Potter, and even some of our own fans were giving it to Potter. Do you know what I'm saying? And that is basically how it was. Like we was in the game, we wasn't great, we got in front, and then we just give it away. Just completely give the game away. And You can't do that, mate. You just can't. Like, it was like literally, Jay, a criminal offence to do that. If I'm being honest, and that is how it was, mate. If I'm being honest,
It's hard, isn't it? Because like we go back to this thing of just conceding 90th-minute goals again and again. It's like we believe we've done enough to win a game just by going ahead. It's like we believe that we can just switch off and go, cool, we've done it now. And the game's going to end and we're going to win the game. Like if it was an isolated incident, it happens from time to time. Occasionally you concede a great goal in a 90 plus minute, and you lose 2 points or you lose a point or whatever. Like it's hard to stomach, but I can tolerate it if it happens once every half a season. But happening week in, week out, mate, constantly. And I've said it before, it's the mentality of these players, mate. It's like they've done enough clearly at 86 minutes to take the lead, and then you've got to be sensible. And by sensible, I don't mean just sit back. I mean, you've got to make sure that they do not threaten your box. When the ball comes out, you've got to press it. When a cross comes in, we've got to be the first head on the ball. But from every game that we've conceded in the last minute, that's never how it is. We score a goal, we go ahead, and then we just go, you know what? We've done it now. And then we sit back and we concede. It's just not good enough, mate.
This thing about the players now, in the space of 4 days, I've done videos. Anyone who didn't watch the After Hours video that I done the other day, I literally fucking ruined a troll on there. Arsenal troll come on and basically offered to shag his mum for him. Do you know what I mean? But the last 4 days, I've done Spaces, I've done TikTok, I've done the YouTube. I'm starting to see that people are just fed up, just mainly fed up. And then obviously the links come out right at the beginning part of the week. Apparently, we've got no money, Jay, and we've got to sell before we buy. And we're in if we finish 17th, we're in a £27.5 million black hole. How does that make any sense, mate?
Poor financial forecasting, mismanagement of the club, believing the hype without putting the money in when we should have. You look at I've said this, I've made this comparison before. You look at what Villa and Newcastle did when they experienced success. They went, okay, cool. So you can have that success for a short while, but you need it repetitively to then propel your club to the next level. I'm not saying I think either of those clubs have gone to the next level, but they're putting the work in and they're taking the necessary steps to give themselves the foundation to get to the next level. The problem that we have is we had that foundation and then we went, do you know what? Let's try and do it on the cheap. Let's try and just rely on the Declan Rice money to bankroll us for a transfer window. We had a bad transfer window and now we're deep in it. We are deep in it. And I honestly, I've said before, like, I don't believe anything that I read about West Ham anymore because wherever these stories are coming from, someone's pushing their own agenda, whether it's Sullivan pushing an agenda, whether it's someone who's against Sullivan pushing an agenda. I don't know what to think anymore, mate. Some of the links with players coming out, there's no new names coming out. I don't know why that is when you've got like a new head of recruitment. I think it's a good thing personally. I imagine there's people clutching at straws for stories, but when all roads lead to, we're saying we've got no money, mate, we're in a real, real bad situation this summer. Real bad situation.
This is my fear. This is what I've been saying for the last 18 months, that when people stand back, take a little look, don't get emotionally involved, because listen, we're all West Ham fans. We're all going to get emotionally involved, yeah? But my advice has always been stand back and look at it from afar. Yeah, look from the right. Don't look what's in front of your eyes. Look beyond that and look around and see what's really going on. And my biggest fear is this summer, because we have to sell players before we can buy them, and the players that we're going to buy, we don't know how good they're going to be for this club, and that is a recipe for disaster. Like, if it goes right, then he's he's a messiah. If it goes wrong, we could be in and amongst it for the majority of next season. I don't want to be negative, right? This is what I said the other day on a video. I don't want to be negative, but I'm looking at it that I've seen this experience before. I've seen this situation before. And Sullivan's a fucking idiot, mate. Absolute fucking idiot. And £57 million, apparently, we put a bid in for Duran in January. It was never... we all know it. We all know it's bullshit. And you are right. One thing I will say, what you just said there, is there's a lot of people that are doing this game, YouTube, podcasts, things like that, for a pound note. And they're literally chucking out any cock and ball story just to make sure they're relevant to the situation. And for me, I've never been like that. but I am scared for what he's gonna what's coming. Do you know what I'm saying? Because Potter's gonna have to pull out his black book. McCauley's gonna have to be on it. McCauley's not gonna have the funds like he could have had at Chelsea. Like it's gonna be a tight budget. I don't like this that we have to sell players, like to buy players. I think that's a bit wrong, considering we're in a ground that only costs us about 4 or 5 million a year. So there's a lot of concerns. Like there's 2 links today that I see, and I've seen these links before. Yeah, Egan-Riley, under 21 England international, and Josh Brownhill. Now Brownhill was mentioned a long time ago, mate. He must be one of Salthouse's clients. Has to be, because he was mentioned when Moyes was here. What do you make of them two?
I mean, look, the way that I look at this transfer window is we're going to need to pull some rabbits out of the hat, aren't we? Is one of them on a free or both of them on a free?
Brownhill's on a free, and the other one's going to have to be paid. But the other one's highly rated, apparently.
Yeah, then I ain't got an issue with it, mate. Like, it ain't going to be inspiring. I don't think anything's going to be inspiring at this club over the next year, 2 years. You got an uninspiring manager. You got a bunch of uninspiring players that currently play for the club, and you got no money to replace them. So we're going to have to be very pragmatic with who's actually realistic in the summer, and we're going to have to be pragmatic with the fact that we ain't going to be fighting in the upper echelons of the table that we've been used to over the last few years. It's going to take a while, mate. It's going to take a while. You got to clear out a load of deadwoods. You got to rejuvenate and overhaul the squads, and you got to like drag our way back up the table. I cannot see a world where we finish above 13th next season, like regardless of who we sign. I just cannot see it. And I'm like you. I don't want to come on here and be negative. I want to come here and enjoy talking about West Ham. I want it to be exciting. I want us to be talking about how great certain players have been playing and how exciting it is that we're competing with the big boys, which we have been. I just can't see it, mate. So I think regardless of what names you throw out there, I'm not going to get excited about anyone. We could go and sign a massive marquee name and I won't be excited because we're just getting fed a load of lies about the fact that we got no money if we go and spend a load of money. It will make no sense. So I'm going to like switch off from any like reading into like too deeply into any specific names. I think both of them are rated. One is on a free. It makes sense. Bring them in and they can start the rebuild at West Ham. As long as they want to play for the club, I'm fine with it.
For me, I'm not listening to no one. The only people I'm going to listen to are the people that are involved in E20 and the people that told me that Lopetegui was on his way in January. Right, it's people that are in the game, traders who hear stuff through the grapevine. I'm not listening to no one, mate, because after shit I'm hearing, it's just cock and bull like stories, like people saying Ramsdale's on his way and this shit, and I'm thinking you're just trying to irate the fan base, and I'm just not down for that. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to have an heart attack worrying about West Ham United because, as I say, they don't worry about me. Where has it gone wrong in regards to the finances, though, Jay? And is this a possibility? Yeah, that the Lucas Paqueta deal last year should have went through, and we wouldn't have been in this situation in the first place.
I don't necessarily buy into that because, like, if you sell Lucas Paqueta for what was it, £80 million that you were due to sell him for, you'd have had to spend 50 to go and replace him, which leaves you, 30 million is not to turn your nose up at, and it probably does dig us out a bit of a hole. But if we've forecast financially that we're going to be finishing top half, which is ludicrous for a club like West Ham, you cannot base your finances on finishing top half. You have to find like forecast and budget for worst case scenario. Obviously, that's gone wrong, which has left us in a massive deficit. Yes, with hindsight, if we'd sold Paqueta and we had that extra 30 mil on top of replacing him, it would plug the black hole, but we'd still be in the shit. We've still got an aging second oldest squad in the Premier League. None of them look like they really want to be here. None of them look like they're up for the fight. So we've got to completely clear the squad out. And I see someone in there saying losses on Skamaka, Haller, Cornet, Ings, Vlasic. That's a bang on. It's absolutely bang on. People don't realise like we'll go and sign players. They don't work out, and then we sell them for a loss. Like the money's got to come from somewhere, and it's just like it's been hemorrhaged from the club over years after years after years, and we ended up with a bunch of players who aren't worth a lot, and we're gonna have to get rid of them and replace them with quality, which costs money. Like we're in the shit.
Do we have to sort of lower our expectations for next year? Like, i.e., because for me, I am concerned. Do I think West Ham are getting top 10? Absolutely not. And West Ham Dan on Twitter has got a 200 quid bet with me that he thinks West Ham finish top half, so I'll be taking the money off him next year. I I don't know what the how can I put this? I don't know what the goals are for Potter next season. But what are they exactly? Just to stabilise the side, and then the following year attack top 10.
I would say that's probably realistic.
Yeah.
You think about what he's done so far. First of all, it's not a lot, but I will defend him because I still will stand by the fact that he's got a bunch of players who look like they don't care. Like he's got a bunch of players who can't be
Right.
asked. So I will still lean on that and say he deserves to like have a few players come through the door who actually want to work for him. But he'll have a very, very short leash at the start of next season. I think he's got to get it right pretty quickly. And by get it right, I don't mean I want him to win 5 out of the first 6 games. I mean, I want to see us win the games that we should be winning. I want to see us like grind out a 1-0 or a 2-1 away at Brighton. When you're 2-1 away at Brighton, 86th minute, you take the lead. That's when I want to see us be a bit more streetwise and shut up shop in the right way and hold on to it. He needs to be starting to get those results through the door. But what he did at Brighton was exactly that. He took Brighton from a club that was battling relegation, improved them in the first season, got them into the top half in the second season. That's probably what we're in for it with this club, because we're probably going to have a similar kind of budget as to what he had at Brighton. So he's got to pull some rabbits out of the hat, and he's got to do something pretty magical.
I think there's something you just said there. Like I was just listening to what you were saying about him next season. For me, I look at him and is it style of play that's a bit of a problem or not? Right, because the way we build up through like this 3 at the back, like we need to get a new spine of West Ham, like going from striker to goalkeeper. Like, I think the spine of the side is dead, if I'm being honest. Like I think we've got good players on either side of the spine, but the spine itself, like the 2 centre halves, are £75 million. That's embarrassing, really, for them to. Do you know what I'm saying? And listen, I feel sorry for Kilman to a point, because this season he's had multiple partners. He's had Tadibo in and out the fucking side. He's had Mavropanos next to him, who's cost him goals. So I do feel a little bit sorry for Kilman. Not much, but a little bit. The midfield, we all know, so I ain't going to even mention that. And the centre forward sort of position is the most important position on the pitch, because you need to score goals. What do you make of the spine of the side, mate?
Yeah, I think this was my skepticism with Potter. Everyone who was like standing Graham Potter and desperate for Potter to come in and replace Lopetegui, I think they were so fed up with Lopetegui that they would have taken anyone at the time. But that's why I remember we had the conversation and we sat here and I was like, he's not inspiring, and this squad does not suit the style that he wants to play. But he's a very principled man in the way that he wants his teams to play football. He's played this formation everywhere he's gone. So we could have seen this coming a mile off. So, which is why I say you need to give him the chance. You look at the midfield 3 that started on the weekend, right? Again, I haven't watched them, so I don't know. So nobody come at me, because I've got no idea. But that is not a midfield that I look at and go, they're going to control the game. Paqueta, Ward-Prowse and Souček. I'm like, that's not going to get their foot on the ball, buck it around. It's not going to break up play when someone's counter-attacking. We miss that Declan Rice-style player who could do all of that on his own. We miss, like, prime Lucas Paqueta we had for about, 6 games in his first season when he looked absolutely unbelievable. Where on earth he's gone, I've got no idea. And we know Ward-Prowse is starting because the rest of our midfield options are so bad that they're not good enough to play for West Ham. So we've got this makeshift midfield of players that don't necessarily fit what Potter wants to do.
Can I ask,
it's not going to work.
Can I ask you a question? Right, and I'll put this to the chat and all. And don't go mad when I say this, everyone. But where is Andy Irving? Like, where is he? Like, because he had a really good game against Chelsea. Our midfield's that bad, as everyone keeps telling me. Where is he?
I don't think he was ever good enough, mate. I think he had an all right game against Chelsea, but we hyped him up because he's basically a meme.
He is,
and like he's not mobile enough. You put him on a bigger pitch than Stamford Bridge, not against an out of form Chelsea side, and I think he gets torn apart, mate. There's a reason he's come on and he's had his opportunities to shine, and he's never worked his way into the starting lineup under 2 managers. He was never good enough, mate. He's a championship level player.
Yeah, but do you know what? When things are that bad, sometimes you can find a shining light in the rough. Do you know what I mean? A little diamond. And listen, I agree with what you're saying. I look at him and I think, he's just not the guy. But it's how bad our fucking midfield is. Anything is possible. That Williams has said it here. He's in Benidorm, loving life. Fucking, I bet
Couldn't
he is,
blame
mate.
him.
Get me out to Benidorm, mate. You know what I mean? Grab a granny. Here we go. Um, what was gonna say to you? Like, how do you see it in regards to the finances, though, in the summer, though? Well, give me a figure, Jay, what you expect West Ham to spend in the summer.
I expect we sell Kudus early to try and balance the books of this whatever deficit we've got, and we try and ship him out to Saudi. And
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if we ship him to Saudi for like 70 mil or something, just because we've been forced to, and because we'll be worried about finances. You got another bunch of players that we probably need to move on, but there's no one who's worth a load of money. If Paqueta gets cleared, I think we try and move him on as well. But how much I've always got no idea how much he'd be worth in this market. I've got no clue.
I would say, I think he's a £40 million player, 40 million pound player. Like, when you look at him, I don't think he's any less than that. He's only how old is he? I think he's 27, ain't he? 27, 28.
Probably about that, yeah.
Yeah, he's around that age, I think, maybe, in that age bracket. So I think he's about, in that regard, we ain't getting the 80 mil for him because obviously he hasn't been great this year. But I think when I look at West Ham, especially this summer, Kudus, Paqueta, Alvarez, because I think Alvarez is out the door. What would you value Alvarez?
There's talk of like 30 mil and stuff, isn't there? I think if we get 30 mil, like I think that'd be good money for him.
Yeah, if we sign him for 30 and sell him for 30, we've had a result. Like, I'm going to be honest, we've had a proper result there. And then the big one is Thomas Souček. Like,
I just don't think you can move him on. I honestly don't think you can. Whether he starts, whether he doesn't start, whether he fits the style, whether he doesn't, mate, he's so clutch and he gets it. I don't want to see us move Thomas. You'd have to get a crazy bid from Everton. I'm talking like 30 mil. Like, if 30 mil come in for Thomas Souček, I'd go, you've probably got to look at that, lads. But short of 30, given what he does for the side, given how much we lack players who care about this club, he is someone who cares about this club, and I think that's worth any amount of money, to be honest. So I don't want to see Souček go anywhere personally.
Nor do I really, mate. And listen, is he my most favourite player? No, he ain't. He has got flaws in his sort of game, but for me, I look at him and what you just said's bang on. He gets it. He gets it. Like, him and Bowen and a few others get it a little bit. A lot of other people don't. They get the pay packet and you don't ever see them. Do you know what I'm saying? I looked at the defence the other day, and Todibo is like 35 mil. We're going to be paying 35 mil for him. It's going to be interesting to see how he copes next year, because I think he's one disagreement away from having a row with someone. Do you know what I'm saying? He's that sort of that temperament. What do you make of Todibo for 35 million?
There's a player in there. Like, he ain't proven that he's worth 35 million this season. And so, in my opinion, if you get the opportunity to sell him for a profit in the summer, if someone comes in and goes, so to Trodge's point there, as I was just saying, if let's say Man U wanted to come in and pay 50 mil, I'd rip their arm off for it, mate. Absolutely rip their arm off for it. Like, you when you consider, like, we bought him for the potential that he's got, but he ain't doing the job now. What he's doing is being a disruptor. And it seems that we've got a squad full of disruptors, full of players that have disagreements with managers, full of players who throw the toys out the pram when they don't get it their way, full of players that are injury prone, probably on too high wages. It stinks to the higher heavens, mate. So if you can get a profit on him, like, mate, I think you kick him out the door and you get a big bruiser centre back to come in who, again, is gonna win the ball in the air. Don't need anyone who's going to do anything fancy. Todibo does the fancy side of it, but he doesn't do the basics. Like, how often does he want a header? How often does he get bullied by centre forwards? Quite a lot. So, I think if you can turn a profit on him, mate, I'd move him on and reinvest. No problem at all.
So the thing is, I was just thinking back. I'm going to get to a comment from Leslie in a minute, but I was just thinking back what you just said about 15 minutes ago. And I'm looking at the links of players that we're currently linked to. There's no one real. A lot of it's Championship. I'm seeing a lot of Championship links. And listen, that ain't a bad thing. I'm going to say that to the people right now. This is not a bad thing. Antonio, Cresswell, Bowen, to name them three, off the top of my head, they all come from the Championship. So it ain't a bad thing. And I think you could raid a few clubs in the Championship for their little gems. Do you know what I mean? And I look at, like, people like Hayden Hackney. I think it's a great little player at Borough. Obviously, Joe Benham at Sunderland. I think you've got to get the blend right from like defense to attack. I am concerned why he ain't going for a goalkeeper though. If you're going to play this system and you're going to play a ball playing sort of, why are you not getting a ball playing goalkeeper? But that one doesn't make no sense really. But
I reckon it's purely budgetary, mate. I think he knows that none of those players, bar Jared Bowen, are really good enough for what he wants to do. But you can't overhaul everyone. And I think if you look at what's the highest priority, desperate for a centre back, desperate for a centre mid, desperate for a striker, probably all the positions around them as well. If you go to keeper when you've got to pay a lot of money for a position where you're not going to see a vast improvement, the type of players, the type of keepers that would want to come to West Ham. Like you look at Aaron Ramsdale, for example. If Aaron Ramsdale comes to West Ham, am I going to have a meltdown? No. Like, is he going to be any better than Areola? No. So, is there any point in getting him? No.
Yeah, but if someone said to you that you're paying 25 million for the privilege, though, I would be fuming with that. I really would, Jay.
That's the point, mate. Is like to get real quality, you've got to go and pay 30+ million to get a goalkeeper, and you're not going to see if you got Kelleher in and you've got to pay 30 million for him. Are you going to see such a drastic improvement in West Ham that he's worth 30 million? Probably not. So, like, we've got to be sensible with what we're spending, and it's probably just a deprioritized position, to be honest.
One question that does need to be asked with Potter is that, do you think he, as a head coach, he should be doing more to get to coach these players to be better players? Because I'm hearing a lot of people saying he doesn't fit his system, it doesn't do this, it doesn't do that. I understand that. And when Mitch and Lucas were going at it the other day, it was quite volatile on here. Yeah, but that's how we are. This is the E20 family, and this is how we. There's always trouble in the family. But do you think Potter should be doing more to get the best out of some of these players, though? Because I don't think he's done anything with any of them, Jay, if I'm being honest.
I genuinely think it's an attitude thing, mate. I really think it's an attitude thing, because a lot of people tell me how great, like, we've got brilliant players and we shouldn't be as low in the table as we are. Like, right. I agree on paper, we've seen these players do great things. There's players in there that have been brilliant in the past, but at the moment, none of them are brilliant. And I include Jared Bowen in that. I didn't see the weekend. Don't come at me. But at the same time, he's not been himself this season. We know that. So you can argue first and foremost, yes, there's an element of the tactics ain't helped him as an individual. Like, any tactics been played under either manager has not worked for Jared Bowen himself. But the manager's also he's not a magician. Like, he ain't going to turn around and make Todibo go from where he is now to being the supposedly potentially top quality centre back that he's going to be if he ain't got the right attitude. People that don't want to learn will not learn. And you've got a lot of players there, when you consider the age as well, that are probably at a stage where they're like, I can't really learn anything new. So why am I going to try and learn a new style of play? Which is the way that I look at this. You look at the likes of Emerson, Ward-Prowse, Paqueta, Wan-Bissaka, Todibo, Mavropanos, even Kilman. How many of those are they're all in the second half of their careers. So how many of them are going to want to really go out and learn a new way of playing?
Do you think some of them have said they want to leave in the summer?
I wouldn't be surprised, mate.
Basically, where the team's so light in personnel, he's just had to throw these players in, because it has some of the sort of lineups have baffled me this season. Like, Wolves away, Guilherme starts out of nowhere. Yeah, and it's like, and then you bring Andy Irvine against Chelsea, you never see him again. It just feels like it's just rotation. And I understand that people say, well, you want to see different things and all that. And I get that argument. But then you've got to have a bit of a structure going into next season, because I don't think he's going to be getting rid of as many players as what we think. I think the usual suspects will go out the door. I think Kudus is going. I think Paqueta will go if he ain't banned for life. Ings, Mavropanos, Alvarez, that's 5 off the top of my head. Yeah, that I think are definitely going. But then the rest of them, like the Ward-Prowse, I don't think Ward-Prowse is going anywhere next season. I really don't. I just can't see it. I don't know about you, Jay.
I don't think he's going anywhere either, mate. But again, he's someone that I don't think he should be starting next season. No. I think if you have him as a fourth choice centre mid, but as somebody who's there to help guide the youngsters, because you're going to have a Freddie Potts coming back next season who's going to be itching to play. George Urphy will come back and get a pre-season to prove whether he's good enough. Ollie Scholes is still there and he's developing, and he's the perfect role model for him. He's the perfect kind of player I'd want him to be learning from. But again, I totally get the point of, he's on over 100 grand a week. Can you pay 100 grand a week for a fourth choice centre mid? Can you
True.
afford that? Like, if we're in this many financial problems, I don't really know, mate. I wanted to go back to a point that you made when you're talking about Potter improving the players, and you're talking about certain players coming into the lineup, because it's an interesting topic to talk about. I think I actually rate Potter for doing that, and I see the vision, and I see what I think he was trying to do. He's trying to show that if you work hard in training and you're patient and you give it your everything, you'll get your opportunities.
Right.
Guillaume didn't seize his opportunity in that game. He was absolutely woeful, stinker and hooked, no problem. But what happens? He learns from it. He comes back a week later and comes on for 15 minutes. He's decent. Comes on the game after that. He's even better. So he's getting there, as far as I'm concerned. You look at Andy Irvine. I'm sure he even said in an interview after that game, he even said that he wanted, like, Andy Irvine had been doing really well in training. He's been working hard. He's been putting the extra hours in. He's been going the extra mile. So he wanted to reward him. When we were short of players, he wanted to throw him in and say, cool, here's your chance. And who would you rather? Would you rather Andy Irvine or would you rather Guido Rodriguez? I'd have Andy Irvine every day of the week.
Yeah.
Purely because Guido Rodriguez is another one who's happy to pick up his wages, but ain't interested in trying to help the team. I can guarantee he's not interested in trying to train as hard as Andy Irvine is. So in that respect, I think what he's trying to do is trying to show the players and trying to inspire the players by saying, if you work hard enough and I can see that you're working, you're going to get opportunities. Just keep working. So I've got no issue with it, mate. No issue with it at all. In that respect, I rate what Potter was trying to do. It just didn't work because neither of them did. Well, Irvine did all right, but he's not great.
Yeah, I can understand what you're saying. Don't get me wrong. I get that. I get like, if you earn it, then you deserve it, so to speak, right? So I'm with you in that aspect. But when I do look at Potter currently right now, he doesn't fill me with inspiration. And that's the problem. I'm not seeing an inspirational manager. Even on his interview the other day after the game, the fucker's cracking already. He's only been here 4 months. Like, and next season, this fan base will not hold back, right, next season, because they will say, right, you've got nowhere to run now. Yeah, you've had a pre-season. Yeah, you know you're working for David Sullivan, so you're going to have to pull out these gems and these players from all over the gaff. And I don't know what West Ham fans want next year. Like, personally, what I want and what you want might be two different things. Yeah, I need to see West Ham on the front foot. I need to see West Ham, like, literally, when they play a team, don't be scared to attack. It seems like they're overdoing it, overpassing it, and basically overcomplicating it. And I've always said this: West Ham are a counter-attacking side. And I remember when we had Lingard, Antonio, Bowen, Ben Rama in that season when we was sort of hitting for six. Yeah, we was fucking amazing on the break. I remember Wolves away where we destroyed them. Lingard went through. Aston Villa away when we scored 4, I think it was. Like, I just don't think West Ham are set up to play this Brighton style. I just don't see it. I just don't. And I've watched West Ham for a long time, and Iggy Go Pop is in the chat. He says we want entertaining football. You ain't going to get entertaining football with the style that he's trying to develop, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I don't think Potter's ever been an entertaining manager, but we knew this at the time. Like, when we got him, we're caught in the middle of a transition where we've tried to change style, we've changed managers, and we got it wrong. The managers tried to implement a style, we got that wrong. This new manager's tried to implement another style, he's got that wrong. But the way he's going to get it right is trying to get the players that can play that style and do want to play for the shirt. Is it going to work? Like, who knows? I've got no idea whether it's ever going to work. Is it going to be fun? Probably not. Which is why I parked any ideas of style of play a long time ago, because you cannot please everybody. One person's idea of like a good style of play is another person's idea of boring. We played counter-attacking football. We played counter-attacking football, and a large portion of the fan base called it boring. And there were games where I found it boring. Like, it is what it is. When you're sitting back, you play in a low block and you try and go fast. If you play against the Liverpool and it doesn't work, and you watch Liverpool have 80% of the ball, it is boring. But that's the risk you're going to take.
Yeah, but do you think we've overhyped ourselves in that regard, though? Because, like, basically saying, well, we should be going toe to toe with Arsenal and Liverpool when we're nowhere near on that fucking level. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Like, yeah.
We like, as a fan base, we absolutely bought into the hype. When we were finishing in the upper echelons and we won a trophy and we were going, right, I now want to see us kick the ball around more, and I want to see us play with the ball and not watch the other team play. That was a phrase I heard a lot. I don't want to turn up and watch the other team play football was a phrase that I heard a lot of people saying. And that's when Moyes tried to change it and it didn't work. And now we're stuck in the middle of no style, no players that have any idea what they're trying to do. and players that seem disillusioned and frustrated with the fact that they've got no concept of how to play, what kind of style they're playing. Like, which is why we have to nail our colours to the mast and try and do something and like try and figure out how we're going to play moving forward. We're probably in the midst of the hardest it's going to be. Like, this is as hard as it gets. Like, not winning in 7 games. We've tried 3 at the back. We tried 4 at the back. Like, it is what it is. Like, the issue is that it seems a long way to the end of the season. A long, long way to the end of the season. And like, we definitely need to just get in, switch off from West Ham for a while and wait and see who we actually go and sign.
What are you expecting against Spurs, mate?
Oh, I'm expecting one of the worst games of football you could possibly see. It's in between Spurs' European semi-final. We look like we got no idea of how to play. Spurs ain't going to care about it. Our players don't seem to. This is the issue. Our players don't seem to know how to get up for a big game like that. Right. Whereas when you have Mark Noble as captain, you knew West Ham were up for it. Didn't matter, home or away. You knew he was in the dressing room getting people up for it. So you just got to hope that someone manages to inspire them and we go out and put a performance on. But I don't have a lot of faith in that.
I'll be doing a preview in a week. I'm going to let all the boys have their. I'm going to let all the boys have their rest for this season. I'll be doing all the previews from now to the end of the season because I know that a lot of the boys have had a fucking enough. Like, do you know what I mean? So I'm just going to let them sort of chill and just come on the afterthought, player ratings and things like that. When it comes to Spurs, I don't give a fuck. I do not want to lose against them because we won't hear the last of it. You know full well what will be coming from them straight away is they are the worst team going at the minute and we can still beat West Ham United. I don't want to hear that. I simply do not want to hear that shit. And I know that will be the line that they will come out with. For me, when it comes to Potter, I need to see him inspire people, and I just don't see it at the minute. I really don't. But he's going to have to inspire a victory on Sunday because if we do go down to them, Jay, and we do go down to them in a bit of a bad moment, I don't think it's going to last. I think people might look at him and change their opinions quite quick, like especially after last weekend, right? Because the away end last weekend, he refused to go over to the away, the away fans. But he sort of went over and turned around and walked away, and he was getting abused from Brighton fans and West Ham fans. So I don't know. I don't know where this goes. And Sullivan's sitting there and fucking smiling to a point, isn't he? Let's be real.
There's a point you make there that is really interesting. Like, there's no hiding from this fixture. People, like, especially if you've got tickets and are going to this game, like I'm obviously going to this game. Like, there's no hiding. You put in a bad performance. Like, what's he going to do? He's going to walk back down that tunnel. He's going to get dogs abuse from people if the team don't at least turn up. If we lose the game 3-2 and we've put in a brilliant performance and we get done by like 2 amazing goals, we're 2-1 up. We can see 2 brilliant goals. You could probably turn around and go, fair enough. It hurts, but fair enough. Like, we did some things right. If we don't put a performance in, mate, I don't know where he hides. And like I've said before, I'm not for sacking him. I don't want to see us go for a 4th manager inside like 1 and a bit seasons. Like, I just don't want to see it. I want to see us give him a chance, and like, I don't think financially we can afford to then have 3 different managers on the payroll at the same time. Like, it's going to be crazy. But at the same time, I don't know how anyone's going to defend him if we don't put this performance in, mate. There's a lot of pressure on him this weekend.
I'll get to this comment. We literally done that against Brighton, and James lost his head. I lost my head because West Ham are 2-1 up. Yeah, and then give it away in 180 fucking seconds. Do you know what I mean? I could have went out and balled a fucking egg. Do you know what I'm saying? And it would have come up quicker. Do you know what I'm saying?
I started 1 hole and we were winning. I finished it and we'd lost the game.
That's what I'm saying. Like, do you know what I mean? Fucking, you go and boil the kettle for a cup of tea. Like, you make your tea, you come back, it's fucking 3-2. Like, I don't get. And this is one thing I'm going to say before we round this video up. Please do smash a like on the video. It goes a long way. Yeah. Is when people say about mentality, us as a fan base, our mentality's got to change. Because on one side of it, people are saying, it don't matter. It don't matter. And on the other side of it, people are saying, well, it does fucking matter because, like, the mentality's got to be to win, not to just, like, get involved. And I'm going to say this, right? Because I had this all season and I can't wait for the end of season review. Fucking can't, right? When people was wishing West Ham lose games to sack managers. That's another thing that's got to fucking like people got to cut that shit out next year, right? Even though Potter's not the right guy, don't get me wrong. You can't be wishing your team to fucking lose for the sake of sacking the fucker. You know what I mean? It's down to Sullivan. What do you make of that, Jay? Before we wrap up.
Yeah, I'd never wish West Ham to lose, even if it meant Spurs win the league. Like, I don't care. I don't care about what anyone else does. I don't care about like people's personal agendas or people's feelings. Like, I just want to see West Ham win games of football. Like, to be honest, I don't care about anything else. I don't think it's helpful. I don't think this fan base is generally helpful to any manager who's in charge. You look at the way Moyes was treated. Some people were saying he should have walked away after he, like, straight away once he won a trophy. People were on Lopetegui's back after his dad had died. Like, the way this fan base ends up, and it's not everyone, by the way, but there's large portions of our fan base that will just do horrible things. Like, I don't think it helps. I don't think it creates a great environment. If people say that this still matters, then hopefully we see a loud London Stadium on the weekend. We are capable of doing it. When we scored 2 against, was it Bournemouth? We went 1 down. We scored 2 in very quick succession. The place was sounding good. I'm not going to pretend it sounded like amazing and it was electric. Place was sounding good. If we could do that from the start on a weekend, you never know. We might be able to inspire them to a win. But
before we go, obviously you go to the ground, and what's something you just said there? I just want to get onto that quick, while it's fresh in my mind. Why is it the atmosphere is up and down like a yo-yo? Is it because the season's dead and people's attitudes are like, we're going there for the social sort of aspect, but we don't really care about the football aspect because it's dead? Or is it a case of that the fan base is a bit split with Potter? No one can really anyone who cheers for him and wants him to do well, they get dug out by people who fucking hate him. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, if you want to like underline the problems of where like the fan base comes into it, and the problems with the stadium, there's a whole video you could do on that. Like, that's an hour-long video that we could actually do. But the bit that I'll touch on is the thing that always pisses me off is how loud people boo when Mavropanos comes off the bench. Like, but how do you expect any player to get up for it? How do you expect players to give you a performance when one of their colleagues is coming on to try and give his all for the shirt and their own fans are booing him? Like, what does that say? That is the symptom of what is wrong with his fan base, is they can't appreciate someone who's just coming on to try and.
Is that modern day football though, Jay?
Doesn't happen at every club, mate. How many other clubs have booed one of their own players coming on this season? Like, if anyone can name how many clubs have booed one of their own coming off the bench this season, then I'll say, cool.
I can name a club straight away. He ain't there no more, but Xhaka at Arsenal. And if we're going to turn into Arsenal fans, fuck that, mate. I'd rather not. Do you know what I mean? So I understand what you're saying. There is players that you need to sort of understand that they're shit, and booing them ain't going to change that. I'm saying it's going to make them worse. So I get that argument, but like I've never been like that. Never. Like, listen, I'll never sit on the stream and boo the fucker. Like, because he's there to do a job. I'm hoping he does the job. But, so, you know, it is bad. Any final words from you, Jay, before we make a move?
Let's just hope it's a sunny day. I can enjoy myself at the game on Sunday. Have another beer in the sun. It'd be nice. Yeah. But otherwise, just hope everyone enjoys the rest of their week. Bank holiday on Monday. So it'll be all right, won't it? So
yeah,
it's nearly done.
Every cloud and all that. Jay, before we go, quickly, scoreline.
I think 1-1. That's what I'm going to say. I think it'd just be drab. I think we'll take the lead, and I think we won't hold on to it. Yeah. Well, fucking, it's about right. We've got to hold on to a lead at any fucking time. Listen, smash a like on the video. Subscribe to E20 Zone TV. I'll be doing the preview, either pre-recorded tonight or tomorrow. I'm going to give you my honest thoughts because it's Spurs, and I don't want to fucking lose to them. As simple as that. And Potter's going to have to turn up with the players and put in a performance. And after last week's defeat, now I expect it more than ever. Like, I expect a bounce back ability. Yeah, right. Will we get that? Fuck knows. But, you know, enjoy your Wednesday. Enjoy the sunshine. I know it's like Benidorm out there. But, do you know what I mean? Costa del West Ham. Here we go.